Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox fan coming to you from Al Red Sox fan YouTube station on this Friday evening with a doubleheader. The first game will be the Red Sox and the Angels at Fenway Park, continuing our 1977 retro replay using Action PC Baseball. Red Sox looking to extend their 10-game winning streak against the Angels. The second game of the doubleheader, when I come back, will be the Mets and the Giants in San Francisco. Also, I'm going to create a one-and-done weekend tournament using PC Action Baseball. I just don't know what teams I'm going to be using. It'll be a 16-team field. And I want to get that done before Monday, thus the weekend one-and-done tournament. Alrighty, on to this game. Our continuation of our 1977 retro replay. The date, May 7th, 1977. California Angels come into Fenway Park, 13 wins, 12 losses, to face the red-hot Boston Red Sox, who are 20-3 and in first place over their heated rival New York Yankees by 2 games. The Angel lineup: Bobby Grich batting first, playing shortstop. Jerry Remy batting second, playing second base. Batting third, the first baseman Don Baylor. Batting fourth, left fielder Joe Rudy. Batting fifth, the right fielder Bobby Bonds. Batting sixth, the third baseman Dave Chalk. Batting seventh, the center fielder Bruce Bochy. Batting eighth, the designated hitter Jackson. Batting ninth, the catcher Etchenbarren. And doing the pitching, flame ball throwing Frank Tanana. If you missed yesterday's game, I won't give it away. What a game it was between Nolan Ryan and Ferguson Jenkins. Great game. A plethora of strikeouts and a wonderful ending. So the Boston Red Sox, batting first, the shortstop Rick Burleson. Batting second, the first baseman George Boomer Scott. Batting third, the catcher Carlton Fisk. In the cleanup spot, batting fourth, the left fielder Jim Rice. Batting fifth, the right fielder Dwight Evans. Batting sixth, the third baseman Butch Hobson. Batting seventh, the designated hitter Bob Montgomery. Batting eighth, the second baseman Dillard. Batting ninth, playing center field, Rick Miller. Carl Yastrzemski and Denny Doyle get the days off today. Freddie Lynn is still injured. He will be back May 13th or May 22nd he comes back. I think it's the 13th he comes off the DL. So once again, the Red Sox have won 10 straight and 10 of their last 10. Frank Tanana takes the mound for the Angels. He's made 6 starts on the year and has 4 wins and 2 losses with an earned run average of an outstanding 1.21. He'll be opposed by Rick Wise for Boston. Wise has made 3 starts for the year and is 1 win, 1 loss with an ERA of 5.09. Jerry Remy is riding a 11-game hitting streak. It's 72 degrees, wind speed 17 miles per hour left to right, and we have a light rain. And as they say in the retro world, play ball. So Bobby Grich, leadoff hitter for the Angels, and opposing the Angels' offensive lineup on the mound, Rick Wise. In 1977, Rick Wise went 11 wins, 5 losses, ERA of 4.77, batting average against 292. So obviously the Red Sox scored a lot of runs to get him 11 wins, as he did not have a stellar year. In retro replay, Wise's ERA is 5.09, 1 win, 1 loss. Batting average against, 312. His battery mate, Hall of Fame catcher Carlton Fisk. Butch Hobson at third, very prone to making errors in 1977. The excellent Rick Burleson at shortstop. The below average to poor Steve Dillard at second base. And the outstanding George Boomer Scott at first. In left field, Jim Rice. Average fielder, excellent arm. Rick Miller in center fielder, average fielder, excellent arm. And Dwight Evans in right field. 7 out of 10 fielding for range, that's very good, and an average arm in 77. So Bobby Grich comes to the plate, right-handed batter, to face the right-handed pitching Rick Wise. Grich on the retro replay is batting .256, 7 home runs, and 17 RBIs. In actuality, in 1977, Grich batted .243, 7 home runs, and 23 RBIs in 181 at-bats. Fisk flashes the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch to Grich. That ball is sent out to Rice in left field. He goes back to the track and makes the catch for out number 1. Jerry Remy steps to the plate now. Remy riding an 11-game hit streak, batting .263 in the retro replay. 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. In 1977, Remy actually batted .252, 4 home runs and 44 RBIs. This is a lefty-righty matchup here. Remy hit .266 off right-handed pitching in 1977. Remy's excellent with the bat, loves to bunt. The Red Sox will bring their corners in. So Hobson and Scott move in. Wise sets and delivers to Remy. And that ball's grounded to Dillard, who quickly goes to Scott for out number 2. That will bring up Don Baylor, the Angels' first baseman. Baylor on the retro replays hitting .289, 9 home runs, and 25 ribbies. In 1977, Baylor actually hit .251, 25 homers, and 75 RBIs. Baylor definitely has pop in his bat. He only batted .255 off right-handed pitching, though. Wise gets the sign from Fisk. The windup and the pitch to Baylor. 2 outs, nobody on. And Baylor sends that ball deep to center, and Miller races back and makes the catch on the warning track. 3 up, 3 down, no score for the Angels. 2 up for the Red Sox. Rick Burleson, George Boomer Scott, and Carlton Fisk in the bottom of the first to face the flamethrower Frank Tanana on the mound. Tanana in 1977 had an ERA of 2.54, 15 wins, 9 losses, struck out 205, only walked 61, and batting average against was .227. In the retro replay, he's even better early on. Earned run average of 1.21, 4 wins, 2 losses. Batting average against below 200, 156. He struck out 47, only walked 11. His battery mate, doing the catching, Andy Etchenberry, a very poor defensive catcher with a very bad arm. At third base, Dave Chalk, better than adequate. Same thing goes for Bobby Grich at short, Jerry Remy at second, and Don Baylor, an average fielder, at first. Joe Rudy's in left field. Solid defensively, poor arm. Bruce Bhakti is in center field. Poor range, very good arm. And the best all-around outfielder, Bobby Bonds, in right field. 7 out of 10 range, which is very good, and an above-average arm, 6 out of 10. So leading off for the Red Sox, Rick Burleson. The Roosters batting .365 on this retro replay. No home runs, 6 RBIs. He has been a stalwart at the top of the lineup here in this retro replay for the Red Sox. In actuality, Burleson batted .293. 3 home runs. 3 home runs. Three home runs and 52 RBIs. So here's the windup and the pitch by Tanana. Lefty-righty matchup here. And Burleson strikes out. So Tanana starts off the game blowing away Burleson with a 2-2 swing and a miss. Got him on that slider. Now up, George the Boomer Scott. Scott has a 7-game hitting streak, and once again, if you haven't watched the first game of this series, I recommend going back and watching it. It was absolutely outstanding. On the retro replay, Scott's hitting .233, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs. He has been very hot, as you see, 7-game hitting streak. Has finally gotten his batting average over 200. Took a while, but he's there now. In 1977, Scott hit .269, 33 home runs, and 95 RBIs. And off left-handed pitching, Scott hit .362 in 1977. Let's see if Scott can make a deposit over the left field wall. Etchenberry flashes the signals. Tanana nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Boomer. And Scott sends that ball out to Gritch at short, and Gritch catches the pop out for out number 2. Now batting for the Red Sox, their catcher, Carlton Fisk. Fisk on the retro replays hitting .302. 5 home runs and 22 RBIs. In actuality, Fisk hit .315, 26 home runs, and 102 ribbies. Fisk batted .276 off left-handed pitching in 1977. 2 outs, nobody on. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Fisk lines out to Remy to end the inning. So we go to the top of the second, no score. Leading off for the Angels, Joe Rudi. Rudi on the retro replay, struggling a bit, only batting .200. Though he does have 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. In 1977, Joe Rudi batted .264, 13 home runs and 53 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. The windup and the pitch by Rick Wise. And Rudi walks. Doesn't chase on the 3-2 count, so a leadoff walk for Joe Rudi. He's 5 out of 10 for speed, so that's average, and has a 21% chance of stealing second base. George Scott holding him on, and it brings up to the plate the dangerous Bobby Bonds. Bonds on the retro replay struggling, 188 average, though he again has 7 home runs and 22 RBIs. In 1977 for the year, Bonds hit .264. 37 home runs, 115 RBIs. Fisk goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch to Bonds. Wild pitch. Fisk couldn't corral it. Rudi moves into scoring position now with no outs. The count goes full on Bobby Bonds. See if we can get him to chase. We're going to go a little pitch around, see if he beats the ball into the ground. Wise sets and delivers. And that grounder goes to Hobson, who dives, makes the play, and throws him out at first. What a play by Butch Hobson, robbing Bonds of a double down the left field line and an RBI. So he extended the strike zone a bit, and Bobby Bonds chased. So 1 out. Rudi still at second. Dave Chalk, the Angels' third baseman, steps to the plate. Chalk on the retro replay batting .286, 1 home run, 9 ribbies. In actuality, in 1977, .277, 3 home runs, and 45 RBIs. Though he only batted .254 off right-handed pitcher. 1 out, 1 on. The windup and the pitch to Chalk. And that ball goes to Burleson, who quickly fires to Scott. Rudi delays and then goes to third base. So 2 outs, Joe Rudi 90 feet away from scoring. Nice base running there by Joe Rudi. And up at the plate now is Bruce Bhakti. Bhakti on the retro replay batting .281. No home runs, 5 RBIs. He can get 1 now, though. In actuality, Bhakti batted .290. 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in limited at-bats. He had 100 at-bats in 1977. Lefty-righty matchup here. Bhakti hit .312 against right-handed pitching. And Wise gave up a .287 average against I'll be right back. And I'm back. Phone delay over. The joys of streaming live. Anyhow, so Bhakti, who's on deck? Jackson. So we're going to walk Bhakti, as he hits pretty good off right-handed pitching. So we shall intentionally walk Bhakti. And now bring up Ron Jackson. We like these numbers much better. Righty-righty matchup here. Jackson batting .256, no home runs, 4 RBIs. On the retro replay, in 1977 he hit .243, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs. And he only batted .213 off right-handed pitching. So first and third, 2 outs. This is the batter that the Red Sox want to get. They intentionally walked Bruce Bhakti to get to Ron Jackson. The windup and the pitch. And that ball's grounded to Burleson, who throws to Scott. Inning over. Good decision by the Red Sox. As they pitch out of the jam, we go to the bottom of the second. No score. 2 up for the Red Sox. Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, and Butch Hobson. Rice on the retro replay hitting .352, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. In actuality, Rice hit .320. 39 home runs, 114 RBIs. Against left-handed pitching, Rice crushed it. .361 batting average. Etchenberry goes through the signs, the windup and the pitch by Frank Tanana. And Rice dribbles it to Remy, who throws to Baylor, and Baylor cannot handle the throw. He can't dig it out. It gets by him. Rice, it goes to second base on the error by Jerry Remy. So nobody out. Rice at second. And Dwight Evans comes to the plate. Red Sox right fielder hitting .314 in the retro replay. 4 home runs, 16 ribbies. 1977 for the year, Evans hit .287, 14 home runs, 36 RBIs. Evans is 10 out of 10 for bunting. And you know what? They're not going to expect this. Evans only hit .238 off left-handed pitching. We're going to try to lay down a sacrifice bunt here, get Rice to third base with less than 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Evans. He puts the bunt down. It's a good one. They go to Remy at covering first. They get Evans, but Rice advances to third. Excellent sacrifice bunt by Dwight Evans. It's up to Butch Hobson now. Hobson on the retro replay finally has his average over 200. He's batting .216, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. In actuality, Hobson hit .265, 30 home runs, 112 RBIs. And off left-handed pitching in 1977, Hobson hit .268. Like to get a fly ball here at least to score at Rice from third. The windup and the pitch to Hobson. And Hobson grounds that ball back to Tanana, of all the places to hit it. We have a 12% chance of scoring Rice. And we're going to say no. And they throw Hobson out at first. Pretty much if Hobson grounded the ball to anybody but Tanana, the run scored. So it's 2 outs. Rice still at third. Nice play by Frank Tanana. And Bob Montgomery, the designated hitter, comes to the plate. Monty hitting .333 on the retro replay. No home runs and 2 ribbies. In actuality, Montgomery had 340 at-bats, 2 home runs, and 7 ribbies. So they'll need a hit here to knock in Rice. 2 outs. Rice at third. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Montgomery strikes out. Red Sox threaten but do not score. We go to the top of the third, no score. Due up for the Angels. Andy Etchenberry, Gritch, and Remy. Angels catcher Andy Etchenberry hitting .375 in the retro. No home runs, 6 RBIs. In actuality, .254. No home runs, 14 RBIs in 114 at-bats. The windup and the pitch by Wise. The ball's grounded to Burleson, who throws to Scott. 1 out. Red Sox fans cheer that play. Bobby Gritch steps to the plate. Gritch is 0 for 1. Fisk flashes the signs. The windup and the pitch to Gritch. That ball sent out to Evans in right field, and he makes the catch going towards the... No! He couldn't get there! As it goes foul. He reached out but could not make the catch. No error is given on Evans, so Bobby Gritch comes back to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The windup and the pitch by Wise. And that ball's ripped to Hobson, who bobbles it, and that will be an error on Butch Hobson. So 1 out. Gritch is at first. 7 out of 10 for speed. That's very good. 25% chance of stealing second base. George Boomer Scott holding him on. Jerry Remy comes to the plate. Remy's 0 for 1. Hobson will move in from at third. So we're going to move the third baseman in. Scott will hold Gritch on still. The windup and the pitch to Remy. And Remy sends that ball out to the right center field gap. Evans makes the catch, and retreating back to first is Bobby Gritch. So there's 2 outs. Gritch goes back to first, and Don Baylor steps to the plate. The Angel first baseman's 0 for 1. Definitely a power threat. They have to be careful with him. He can quickly make this game 2-0. Let's see if they can get him to reach. The windup and the pitch to Baylor. And that ball goes out to Rick Miller, left center field, in the gap, and he makes the catch at the warning track. Nice running catch by Rick Miller to end the inning. So once again, Wise expanded the zone, and he got an Angel batter to swing. Baylor reached a little too much, took away some of his power there. They go to the bottom of the third, still no score. Due up for the Red Sox. Steve Dillard, Rick Miller, and Rick Burleson. Dillard's batting .407 on this retro replay, 1 RBI. In actuality, he batted .241, 1 home run, and 13 RBIs. Against left-handed pitching, Dillard hit .260 in 1977. The windup and the pitch by Frank Tanana. And Dillard sends that ball deep, but it's caught by Bonds at the warning track. So Dillard gave it a ride. Not known as a power hitter, and it showed there. If he had any type of power, that ball would have been in the bullpen. Instead, it's a long fly ball out that Bobby Bonds tracked down. So 1 out, no one on, and Rick Miller, Red Sox center fielder, steps to the plate. Miller on the retro replay, struggling with a .129 batting average, no home runs, 1 RBI. Miller in 1977 for the year batted .254, no home runs, 24 RBIs. Only batted .179 in lefty-lefty matchups. Tanana sets and delivers to Miller. And Miller sends that ball into left center field for a 1-out single. First hit of the ball game for either team. Miller 9 out of 10 speed. 56% chance of stealing second base. Rick Burleson comes to the plate. The Roosters 0 for 1. We're going to attempt to steal on Etchenberry's arm. He's horrible. Though Tanana's a lefty, probably holds him on pretty good, but we're going to go for a steal. They throw back, Miller gets back. Again, we're going to attempt to steal, and again they throw over, so they're very concerned with Rick Miller. We're going to try one more time. There goes Miller, there's the throw, and he's out. Etchenberry actually gets off a good throw. Gritch applies the tag. Remy applies the tag. Miller is out, so 2 outs. They paid a lot of attention to Rick Miller, and they were able to get him out at second. So 2 outs, nobody on. Rick Burleson comes to the plate, 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch to the Rooster. And Burleson grounds it into right center field for another hit. So a 2-out single for Burleson. How big is that? Caught stealing now for the Angels. Miller probably would have went first to third with his speed. So the Boomer steps to the plate. George Scott, 0 for 1. Scott popped out to short his first time up. 2 outs. Burleson at first. Scott riding a 7-game hit streak. The windup and the pitch to the Boomer. And Scott rips it to Chuck, who makes the catch. Inning over. We go to the top of the 4th. Still no score. Joe Rudi comes to the plate. Rudi walked his first time up in the 2nd. The windup and the pitch by Wise. And that ball's ripped off the left field wall. And that's a leadoff double for Joe Rudi. In scoring position now for Bobby Bonds, who's 0 for 1. Bonds grounded to third in the 2nd. Fisk flashes the signs. Wise nods his head. Here's the pitch to Bonds. And Bonds sent that ball over the left field wall. 2-0 Angels. As he crushed that Rick Wise offering. Hello, what's blazing in sports? How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well with you and the little man. Remember to check out What's Blazing in Sports. Excellent boxing channel. Great boxing talk. And again, that's What's Blazing in Sports. Great stuff. And you might get a guest appearance by the little man. So 2-0 Angels. Red Sox riding a 10-game winning streak. And now they're down. No outs. Dave Chalk steps to the plate. Angels third baseman 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch to Chalk. And Chalk walks. So Wise is in a bit of a pickle here. He has not pitched well this inning. Gave that 2-run homer to Bonds after the leadoff double to Rudi, and now he's walked Chalk. Chalk 7 out of 10 for speed. Very good. 27% chance of stealing second. George Scott to hold him on, and the dangerous Bruce Bhakti steps to the plate. Bhakti was intentionally walked in the 2nd inning. Wise sets and delivers, looking to induce a double play ball here. And that ball's ripped off the wall in left field. Chalk goes first to third. Bhakti has a double. There are no outs. And this is revenge of the California Angels here tonight. Now up at the plate, Ron Jackson. Jackson's 0 for 1. And with Frank Tanana on the mound for the Angels, Tanana was outstanding in 77. Hello, Beatles eternally. How you doing, bud? The Red Sox will move their infield in. And let me do this properly, because one time I tried to do this and I clicked on intentional walk by mistake. So we will move. The infield is in to cut the run down at the plate. It's early in the game, but Frank Tanana is a very dominant pitcher in 1977. The windup and the pitch to Jackson. And he rips that ball to Hobson, who throws to Scott. Runners stay put. So 1 out now. Chalk at third, Bhakti at second. Angel catcher Andy Etchenbarren comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Once again, the Red Sox will move their infield in. Try to keep that run from scoring. Beatles eternally says, doing great, Al. Love your games, man. Thank you very much, my friend. Beatles eternally is another one of us who loves to play retro baseball. And Beatles, how goes your retro White Sox season of 1919 and your Pittsburgh Pirates season? Tell us in the chat, my friend. All right, 2nd and 3rd. Here's the pitch to Etchenbarren. Infield in for the Red Sox. And that ball's grounded to Dillard, who goes to Scott. Once again, the runners have to hold. So now there's 2 outs. Wise is 1 out away from pitching out of this jam. Bobby Bonds has already homered in this inning, thus the 2-0 lead for the Angels. It's up to Bobby Grich now to keep this inning going or knock these runs in. Grich is 0 for 2. Red Sox go back to a normal defense in the infield. Hello, Ken Castro, my friend. How you doing, bud? Grich batted .259 off right-handed pitching in 1977. So Wise looking to pitch out of the pickle here. The windup and the pitch to Grich. And that ball's grounded to Hobson, over to Scott, inning over. So after the 2-run homer by Bobby Bonds, Wise bears down and gives up no more. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Angels. Due up for the Red Sox: Carlton Fisk, Jim Rice, and Dwight Evans. Beatles Eternally says in his retro replay, and Ken Castro says all is good. Excellent, Ken. We'd love to hear that. Beatles Eternally says in the chat, in his retro replay for the White Sox, they're comfortably in first, 7 games in front of Cleveland. All-time great teams in action PC. Bucks are tied for 3rd with the Mets. Oh, so the Bucks have had a little winning streak then. Excellent. So Fisk the lead off here. Pudge is 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Fisk strikes out on the 0-2 count. So 1 away, and Jim Rice steps to the plate. Rice 0 for 1. Righty-lefty matchup here. Etchenbairn goes through the signs. Tanana nods his head. He sets and delivers to Rice. And Rice rips a ball into right center field. It drops in front of Bhakti for a single. Tying run comes to the plate, Dwight Evans. Evans had a sacrifice bunt his first time up after Rice went to second on a Remy error, throwing error. And Rice was stranded at third base when Evans sacrificed him over. The Sox were not able to knock him in. Evans was not as successful with left-handed pitching as he was with right-handed pitching in 1977. Only batted .238 against lefties. The windup and the pitch to Dewey. And that's a foul ball. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Rice at first. Here we go again. Here's the pitch. And Evans sends that ball out to Rudy, who makes the catch in left field at the warning track. Rice retreats back to first base. So 2 outs now. It'll be up to Butch Hobson to keep this inning going. Rice at first. Hobson 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Hobson sends that ball deep, but Rudy makes a leaping catch at the warning track, ending the inning. So Hobson gave it a bid, but Rudy took that bid away. We go to the top of the 5th. The Angels still lead the Red Sox 2-0. Due up for California: Jerry Remy, Don Baylor, Joe Rudy. Jerry Remy 0 for 2. Red Sox will move their corners in. Remy's a 10 out of 10 bunter. Corners are in. The windup and the pitch by Wise. Remy grounds that ball up the middle for a single. A leadoff single for Jerry Remy. He's a threat to steal. Remy 10 out of 10 for base running. 37% chance of stealing second. Don Baylor comes to the plate. Baylor 0 for 2. Wise once again is going to try to get a double play ball here, the pitcher's best friend, with runners on base. Wise nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Baylor. Baylor sends that ball out to left field. Rice on the run. He makes the catch. Remy retreats back to first base. Ken, what year are the Grays? Is that an old school, like, dead ball team? Alrighty. We got some fine people in the chat. We got Beatles Eternally. We got Ken Castro. We got What's Blazing in Sports. Remember to check out What's Blazing in Sports YouTube channel. Does excellent boxing. analogies, reviews, and just a fun talk show. So, all right, 1 out. Remy's at first. Joe Rudy comes to the plate. Rudy has walked and doubled. The windup and the pitch to Rudy. Remy's going, and he's thrown out by Fisk. Nice throw there by Jerry. Dillard applies the tag, so 2 outs now, base is empty. Rudy now has a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Righty-righty matchup. The windup and the pitch to Rudy. And Rudy sends that ball up and over the monster for a 3-0 lead. So Bonds has homered, now Rudy has homered, and stepping to the plate, the man who homered first, Bobby Bonds. Bonds 1 for 2, grounded out in the 3rd and hit a 2-run homer in the 4th. Wise is being treated quite roughly here. The Red Sox 10-game winning streak is in jeopardy right now. They're down 3-0. Wise sets and delivers to Bonds. Going to try to pitch around here, get him to reach once again. And he sends that ball up and out! Bonds hits his 2nd home run over the monster. Unbelievable. They've tried to get him to chase on the outside, and Bonds crushed another Rick Wise offering. It's now 4-0. 357-foot home run for Bobby Bonds. So Ken Castro says the Grays are from 1884. Wow, pretty cool. Ken, what are some strange rules from 1884 that the fans of baseball might not know? If you want, share that with us in the chat. So Dave Chalk steps to the plate, 4-0 Angels. All runs scored on home runs. Bobby Bonds hit 2 and Joe Rudy's hit 1 in these 2 innings. Chalk 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Wise. And that ball's ripped off the wall in left field, and that's a double. Wise is now up to 77 pitches. He's good for 120. And he is getting beaten like a piñata. 2 outs. Chalk at second base. Bruce Bhakti comes to the plate, and we're going to walk him intentionally as he crushed right-handed pitching. So he'll get intentionally walked for the 2nd time, and we will face Ron Jackson, who's 0 for 2. 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Jackson. And Jackson pops it up, calling for his Hobson. He makes the catch, inning over. Damage done again. Home run by Joe Rudy, and then another home run by Bobby Bonds. They went back-to-back jacks. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Angels. Win streak in jeopardy for the Boston Red Sox here. 2 up for the Red Sox, Bob Montgomery, Steve Dillard, and Rick Miller, the bottom of the order. Montgomery is 0 for 1, the designated hitter today. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Montgomery sent that ball to shallow left field, and Rudy bobbles it but holds on when he makes the diving catch. He shows the ump he has the ball for out number 1. Steve Dillard comes to the plate. Dillard 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And he pops it up. Let's see if Etchenbarren has a play. Nope, does not. Back on the screen. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Dillard. And Dillard singles. Now he continues a hustling double by Dillard. Rudy took a little more time getting to that ball, and Dillard just kept running. So Dillard's in scoring position here. With 1 out, Rick Miller comes to plate. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Miller's awful against left-handed pitching. We had to play Miller today because we had to rest Yastrzemski, who got injured in yesterday's ball game. So maybe Miller can get a hit here. Miller is 1 for 1, so maybe he'll be 2 for 2. Etchenbarren goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch. And Miller sends that ball out to Bhakti in center field, comes in, makes the catch. Dillard retreats back to second base. So 2 outs. It will be up to Rick Burleson, the Rooster, to knock in Dillard or extend this inning. The Roosters 1 for 2. Struck out in the 1st and singled in the 3rd. Tanana gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Burleson. And Burleson, a dribbler to Remy. He throws to Baylor, and they just get Burleson to end the inning. We go to the top of the 6th, 4-0 Angels. 2 up for California. Etchenberry, Gritch, and Remy. Andy Etchenberry 0 for 2 today. Wise now up to 85 pitches. He sets and delivers. And he strikes out Etchenberry for out number 1. Bobby Gritch comes to the plate. Gritch 0 for 3. Again, Wise sets and delivers. And he strikes out Gritch! So 2 consecutive strikeouts here for Rick Wise. Jerry Remy comes to the plate with 2 outs, hoping to extend this inning. Remy's 1 for 3. Grounded to second, fly to right, and singled up the middle in the 5th. Fisk goes through the signs, the windup and the pitch to Jerry Remy. Remy grounds it to Dillard, who goes to Scott. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Angels. So after Wise was roughed up in innings 4 and 5, giving up home runs and a 4-0 lead, he comes back in the 6th and gets a goose egg. 2 up for the Red Sox. Scott, Fisk, and Rice, heart of the order. The Boomers 0 for 2 today. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And that's a line out to Gritch. Boomer hit it hard, but right at Bobby Gritch at short. So 1 away, Carlton Fisk steps to the plate. Pudge is 0 for 2. Red Sox need base runners to get back in this ball game, folks. Etchenberry goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch to Pudge. And that ball goes deep to center field, but Bhakti tracks it down and makes the catch. 2 outs, nobody on. Jim Rice comes to the plate. Rice 1 for 2. Got on in the 2nd on a throwing error by Remy and singled in the 4th. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Rice strikes out. Side retired. We go to the top of the 7th, still 4-0 Angels. Rick Wise still appears to be strong. He's thrown 99 pitches. He's good for 120. Let me quickly jump in the chat again. We have What's Blazing in Sports. We have Beatles Eternally. And we have Ken Castro. They're a little chatting about their retro games that they play. Feel free to jump in the chat and share with them. Ken Castro, a little background on Andy Etchenberry. He says, Al, another jerk. That's good stuff, Ken. And Beatles Eternally says, I've always wished for a baseball game that could adapt for accurate 19th century rules. You think they could do that, Beatles? I mean, if you know the rules, they should be able to adapt the game to it, the gameplay. So, Don Baylor to lead off the inning, 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch to Baylor. Angels lead 4-0, top of the 7th. That ball's grounded to Hobson. He comes in, throws to Scott, and Baylor beats it out for an infield hit. Good hustle by Don Baylor. And now Joe Rudy steps to the plate. Rudy 2 for 2. Walked in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, and a solo homer in the 5th. Wise wants this double play ball here. He sets and delivers to Rudy. Let's see if we can get him to chase out of the zone. Rudy does not chase. And that's a walk. 1st and 2nd, no outs, and Bobby Bonds comes to plate. He has 2 home runs on the day, 2 for 3. The windup and the pitch to Bonds. And Bonds grounds to Burleson. Dillard to Scott. Double play. Baylor advances to 3rd. So 2 outs now. Dave Chalk steps to the plate. Chalk 1 for 2. Red Sox want to strand Baylor right there. Right there at 3rd base. Chalk grounded out in the 2nd. Walked in the 4th and doubled down the left field line in the 5th. Wise up to 110 pitches. Fisk goes through the side. Wise nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Chalk. That's a grounder, and it gets by Dillard for a single. 5-0 Angels as Baylor scores on the RBI single by Dave Chalk. Bruce Bhakti steps to the plate. He's been intentionally walked twice in this game. Well, we're going to pitch to him now. 5-0 Angels. Chalk at first, 2 outs. Chalk 7 out of 10 base runner, 39% chance of stealing second. Scott's holding him on. The windup and the pitch to Bhakti. That ball goes out to Miller in right center field. He makes the catch, inning over. Angels score another one, and they are now up 5-0. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and it dearly looks like the Red Sox 10-game winning streak is coming to an end. The Red Sox have 9 outs to turn this around. Due up for the Sox, Evans, Hobson, and Montgomery. Dwight Evans 0 for 1 today. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. Evans sends that ball deep to left field, but Rudy makes a running catch at the warning track. 1 up, 1 down. Butch Hobson, Boston third baseman, comes to the plate 0 for 2. The windup and the pitch. Hobson sends that ball deep to center field, back to his horse, and he makes the catch right before the wall. So, 2 good bashes, but not far enough. They only resulted in 2 outs. Bob Montgomery comes to the plate. Monty's 0 for 2. Tanana nods his head. He sets and delivers to Montgomery. And he walks! A good eye by Montgomery. Red Sox desperately need base runners. So 2 outs. Montgomery at first. Steve Dillard comes to the plate. Dillard 1 for 2. Fly deep in the 3rd and doubled in the 5th. Tanana is now up to 94 pitches. Frank's good for 140, so he's still in good shape here. Most likely could go the distance. Etchenbarren goes through the signs. Here's the pitch to Dillard. Dillard sends that ball to Grinch, who throws to Baylor in time, inning over. We go the top of the 8th. California 5, Boston nothing. 2 up for the Angels. Jackson, Etchenbarren, and Bobby Grinch. Ron Jackson 0 for 3. Wise up to 116 pitches. He's good for 120. We're going to give him one more batter. He's got Jackson out 3 times. The windup and the pitch by Rick Wise. That's grounded to Burleson. He comes in on, he throws the first, and they just get Jackson at the bag. Bang, bang play. Nice stretch by the Boomer. So 1 away. Wise is now at 118. Still good for 2 more pitches. Etchenbarren's 0 for 3 will give him this batter also. Wise sets and delivers. Etchenbarren grounds it to Dillard, who goes to Scott. 2 away. So Bobby Grinch comes to the plate. He's 0 for 4. Wise is over his limit now. 121, 1 pitch over, but let's see if he can make Grinch 0 for 5. Fisk goes through the signs. Wise sets and delivers to Grinch. 2 outs, nobody on. That ball's popped up. Burleson's calling for it. He makes the catch. Good job by Rick Wise to gut through that inning. We didn't have to go to our pen at least. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels 5, the Red Sox nothing. Due up for Boston. Rick Miller, Rick Burleson, and George Boomer Scott. And I think Miller's 1 for 2, but I think let's go to our see who we have on the bench here in lefties. So Tanana, again, Frank Tanana batting average against in the retro so far is 157. In actuality, it was 227. He didn't give up many hits. Who do I have on the Red Sox 77 bench who can hit left-handers? Bobby Darwin, but that's a mirage in reality. Very limited playing time. And Yastrzemski, but I don't want to play him, especially down 5-0. You know what? Rick Miller will bat. The windup and the pitch to Miller. And Miller singles up the middle. So our faith in Rick Miller proves to be A-OK. A leadoff single for Rick Miller. He's now 2 for 3. Rick Burleson comes to the plate, 1 for 3. The windup and the pitch to the Rooster. Burleson singles in the left center field, and we will hold Miller at second. He only has a 47% chance of getting to third, so we shall hold him at second. Red Sox in a little bit of business here. First and second, no outs. The Boomer comes to the plate, 0 for 3. One swing of the bat, and the Red Sox are right back in this ball game, folks. Tanana's up to 100 pitches. He's giving up back-to-back singles to Miller and Burleson. 2 on, no outs. Here's the pitch to the Boomer. And Scott sends that ball out to left center field and making the catch. A wonderful catch, Joe Rudy up against the wall. Miller tags up and goes a third. Big out there. Big out for the Angels. First and third, 1 out. Scott gave it a ride, but Rudy made a wonderful play in the gap. Brings up Pudge Fisk, 0 for 3. Fisk is due here, folks. He's due for a big hit. Etchenberry goes through the signs. 1 out, 2 on. The windup and the pitch to Fisk. And Fisk rips that ball, and it drops in front of Rudy. The Red Sox are on the board with an RBI 1-out single by Carlton Fisk. 5-1. Jim Rice comes to the plate as the organist and the fans trying to pump up the hometown team here. Rice 1 for 3. Big moment here in the game for the Red Sox. Rice reached on an error in the second, singled in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. Now we want to see him plant one into the seats. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. Rice swings, sends that ball out to shallow left field. Rudy makes the catch, and we will hold Burleson at second base, as it's only a 35% chance of tagging up successfully. So 2 outs, 2 on. Dwight Evans comes to the plate. Evans 0 for 2. Need a big hit here from the Sox. Evans, sacrifice bunt in the second. Fly deep to left in the fourth. And once again in the seventh, fly deep to left. Now we just need to go a little deeper over the wall. Tanana sets and delivers to Evans. Evans sends that ball out to Rudy. He makes the catch, inning over. The Red Sox do score 1. We go to the top of the ninth. 5-1. Angels due up for California. Remy, Baylor, and Rudy. Remy's 1 for 4. Wise appears to be tired. We'll take him out of the ball game. And we're going to go with Jim Willoughby. Why not? 4-run lead for the Angels. Don't want to really... We have a very limited bullpen here. So Jim Willoughby's coming in the game. Willoughby, the right-hander. In 1977, Willoughby went 6 wins, 2 losses, 2 saves. ERA of 4.94. Struck out 33, walked 18 in 54 innings pitched. Batting average against 258. In retro replay, ERA lower, 318. Batting average against higher, 292. Walked none, struck out 3. They'll be facing Jerry Remy, lefty-righty matchup here. Red Sox will move their corners in. The windup and the pitch to Remy. Remy pops it up. Scott calls for it at first. 1 out. Don Baylor comes to the plate. Baylor 1 for 4. Fly deep to center in the first. Fly deep to left in the third. Fly to left again in the fifth, and singled in the seventh to infield variety. The windup and the pitch to Baylor. 1 out, nobody on. Baylor grounds a single past Dillard into right field. And now Joe Rudy comes to the plate, 2 for 2, a double and a home run and a sacrifice bunt. Red Sox will try to turn 2 here. The windup and the pitch by Willoughby. And that ball is lined right back to Willoughby. Makes the catch. Baylor quickly gets back to first base. 2 outs. Baylor at first, and the dangerous Bobby Bonds steps to the plate. 2 for 4. He's had a 2-run homer and a solo home run, as well as grounding out twice. Willoughby sets and delivers. 2 outs, 1 on. Here's the pitch. Strikes him out. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Angels leading the Red Sox 5-1. Due up for the hometown team. Hobson, Montgomery, and Dillard. Red Sox bats need to get going here against Frank Tanana. And let's give you the final numbers on Rick Wise first. Rick Wise, tough game. 8 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He gave up 3 home runs. That's how the Angels scored all their runs. Walked 5 and only struck out 2. Again, Rick Wise's record in 1977, 11 wins, 5 losses. A bit of a mirage because his ERA was over 4. So that means the Red Sox scored a ton of runs in his game. Beatles Eternally in the chat says, need a sinkhole to swallow up Rudy. Yes! He doesn't have to get hurt. Just swallow it up so the ball rolls around for a while. I agree with you, Beatles Eternally. Alrighty, here we go. Bottom of the ninth. Butch Hobson at the plate. Tanana looking to close this game out. Looking for a complete game victory. Hobson 0 for 3. Tanana sets and delivers. Hobson sends that ball out to right center field. Bakhti makes the catch, though. 1 up, 1 down. Bob Montgomery comes to the plate. Monty 0 for 2. And now in the catch is Terry Humphrey. He's a much better defensive catcher. My God, look at those glasses. How the hell did he even see the ball? So, Humphreys comes in, an excellent defensive catcher with a solid, good arm. They did this in yesterday's game also. So, anyway, 1 out, no one on. Montgomery 0 for 2. Humphreys in for the Angels to catch. The windup and the pitch by Tanana. And Montgomery sends that ball out to Rudy, and that's out number 2. Beatles Eternally, where's that sinkhole to swallow up Rudy? We want to know. So, Frank Tanana 1 out away from a complete game victory. Angels leading 5-1 in the last hope. Steve Dillard, the Red Sox second baseman, comes to the plate. 1 for 3. Dillard fly deep in the 3rd, double to left center in the 5th, and grounded to short in the 7th. The windup and the pitch to the last hope, Steve Dillard. And Dillard singles, and again a hustling double by Dillard, who's injured. Oh, Dillard is hurt on the play, so he'll play at reduced effectiveness. Well, we're going to take him out of the game. So Dillard, another hustle double. A lot of spirit shown there by Dillard. We're going to have Denny Doyle the pinch run for him. And if we somehow tie this game up and go to extras, Doyle will play second base. So Rick Miller comes to the plate. Miller's 2 for 3. Doyle's at second, 2 outs. Red Sox trailing by 4. And I think we're going to go to Carl Yastrzemski for a pinch hitter. We're going to go to Yaz. Yastrzemski will come off the bench. His day off is over. Yaz on the retro replay hitting .378, 6 home runs, 24 RBIs. Captain Carl. In actuality, Yastrzemski hit .296, 28 homers, and 102 RBIs. Yastrzemski against left-handed pitching in 1977 batted .268, much better than Miller. The windup and the pitch by Frank Tanana to Captain Carl. Doyle's at second, 2 outs, Red Sox down by 4. And Yastrzemski sends that ball deep to left center field. Bakhti makes the catch at the warning track. The ball game is over. So Yastrzemski gave it a ride, but to no avail. The Angels win 5-1. Boston's win streak is snapped at 10 by Frank Tanana. Let's quickly go to the box scores. And before that, though, I'd like to say thank you very much to What's Blazing in Sports, who was in the chat a little earlier. And remember to check out What's Blazing in Sports channel. Wonderful boxing information and talk. Also, a big shout out to Ken Castro, another retro game player for sports. Wonderful, wonderful that he jumped in the chat. Always good stuff in the chat. And another big shout out to Beatles Eternally, another gentleman who loves to play retro baseball. All right, let's go to the box score. My guess is, who do you think is going to be player of the game, folks? Who do you think? I think Frank Tanana. That's why. Oh! Broke Black Man 94 in the house. Moderator extraordinaire. Always check out Broke Black Man 94's channel. He does wonderful movie and TV reviews. Even if you don't like the TV shows, check out his channel. His enthusiasm, his reactions to his recap and reviews are absolutely marvelous. You must check out Broke Black Man 94. Please subscribe to his channel. Such a wonderful person. And say hello to your dad. His dad occasionally watches the streams with him. So that's cool. Alrighty, let's go to the box score here. And we'll be coming back with another game, Mets and Giants. We're going to have a little marathon here tonight. So, alright, the winning pitcher, Frank Tanana, 5 wins, 2 losses. Losing pitcher, Rick Wise, 1 and 2. Oh my god. Bobby Bonds, player of the game. That makes sense. I can see that. Yeah, absolutely right. Bobby Bonds. I can't believe he hit 2 home runs. I would give Cole player of the games. But yeah, Bobby Bonds, definitely. My faux pas, people. So, the Angels' record goes to 14 and 12. The Red Sox dropped to 20 and 40, but still will be in first place over the Yankees by a game. And we'll bring up the box score. Bear with me a moment. We go to OBS, bring up a window capture, and there's the box score. It should be up in a moment as I fit it to the screen. Again, the thrilling part of my streams, me trying not to shut the game off while using OBS. And yay, I did it! Did you see that, Broke Black Man 94? I did it. I didn't shut the game off. Are you proud of me, my friend? Alright, let's go quickly. We'll go quickly to the box score here. Alright, let's go to the pitching, because that's where it was at. Rick Wise stunk. That's enough said. 8 innings, 5 runs, 3 home runs. It was awful. Again, Rick Wise's record in 1977 was 11 wins, 5 losses, but his ERA was over 4. So that record is really a mirage. The Red Sox, again, they scored a ton of runs in 77, and obviously in his starts, they scored a lot of runs. Willoughby came in, pitched a clean 9th, and had a K. Frank Tanana went the distance. He's now 5 wins, 2 losses. He went 9 innings, gave up 8 hits, only 1 run, and that came in the bottom of the 8th. He walked 1, struck out 4. Tanana was a wonderful pitcher before he hurt his arm. And he would come to the Red Sox later in his career, but he was not the same pitcher, obviously. So let's quickly go to the batting. The batting heroes of the game for the Angels, Joe Rudi, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 1 RBI, walked twice, speaking the English out, doubled once and homered. And then the player of the game, Bobby Bonds, 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, 3 ribbies, 1 K, and 2 home runs. For the rest of the lineup, Bobby Grich, 0 for 5, Jerry Remy, 1 for 5, Baylor, 2 for 5, a run scored. We've already given you Rudi and Bonds. Dave Chalk, 2 for 3, yeah, that's a good game. 1 RBI, 1 walk, 1 double. Bruce Bochy, 1 for 2 with 2 intentional walks. Doubled once. Jackson, 0 for 4. Etchenbarren, 0 for 4. Humphreys came in, didn't get an at-bat. He came in as a defensive replacement for Etchenbarren in the 9th. For the Red Sox, they struggled. Burleson went 2 for 4, struck out once. Scott, 0 for 4. Fisk, 1 for 4 with the only RBI, struck out once. Rice, 1 for 4, struck out once. Evans, 0 for 3. Hapson, 0 for 4. Montgomery, 0 for 3. Lots of O's. Dillard, a surprising 2 for 4. With 2 hustle doubles. Good job by Dillard. He did get injured on the second double in the 9th. Doyle came in to pinch run for him. Rick Miller, surprising day for him. He had 2 hits. 2 for 3 off of left-handed pitching with 1 run scored. Yastrzemski came in to pinch hit. Flew out deep to left center to end the ball game. So, Angels, 36 at-bats, 5 runs, 10 hits, 5 RBIs, 5 walks, 3 Ks, 3 doubles, no triples, and 3 home runs. 21 runners left on base for California. For the Red Sox, 34 at-bats, 1 run, 8 hits, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 2 doubles, no triples, no home runs, 14 runners left on base. The recap: Bobby Bonds 2 for 5, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Rudy 2 for 3. Again, 2 doubles, a home run, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. Dillard 2 for 4, 2 doubles. Frank Tanana wins the game. Rick Wise loses the game. Tanana's now 5-2. Miller's now 1 win, 2 losses. This is Al, Red Sox fan, saying thank you very much. But before I leave some more, let me once again thank the wonderful people who joined me in the chat today. What's Blazing in Sports? Check out his boxing channel. Absolutely marvelous. Ken Castro, always great to see you. Another retro baseball game player. And he's wonderful. If you're watching the game and he's in the chat, jump in. Feel free to chat with him. He's a very nice person. Beatles Eternally. Another wonderful retro baseball game player. We never found that sinkhole for Joe Rudy and left. Beatles. And then my moderator extraordinaire, Broke Black Man 94. Check out his channel. Wonderful job that Broke Black Man 94 does, a.k.a. David the Saint. He knows I like to call him David the Saint more than Broke Black Man 94. So, anyhow, thank you very much to everyone. And Beatles Eternally said, laugh out loud, we'll get him next time. Yes, we will, Beatles, and hopefully all of us will all be there to see it. So thank you very much to everyone. Health and happiness. I'll be back shortly. We're definitely doing 1 more game. We might do 2 more games. We might do 3 more games. We might do 4 more games. We might have a little marathon here on this Friday evening in the state of Massachusetts. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye. And God bless. Love you guys.